A warm welcome to one and all. Myself, Dr. Rashmi Joshi Sawalkar, Assistant Professor, Department of Zoology, Shri R.L.T College of Science, Akola. Dear friends, today we are going to start our next lecture, lecture 19 on female reproductive system of Hirudinaria granulosa, commonly called as cattle leech. So, let's see what is female reproductive system and which are the organs of female reproductive system. So in cattle leech, the female reproductive organs are given in this diagram here on the right side. So Hirudinaria is a hermaphroditic animal, that is both male and female reproductive organs occur in the same individual. This hermaphrodite word we had listened in many lectures previously I have delivered to you, and but they always practice reciprocal insemination during copulation. But they always practice reciprocal insemination during copulation. This we will see in the next lecture in the life cycle, that how the copulation takes place and what is in reciprocal insemination and all. Now let's see here what are the female reproductive organs in the cattle leech. So one by one we will see here. First is ovisac, oviducts, common oviduct. Fourth one is albumin gland. Fifth is vagina, and sixth is female genital pore. So in this diagram on the right side, see the highlighted structure. The outermost structure is of male reproductive system. Male reproductive system. This is atrium, this is epididymis, and this is ejaculatory duct, and this is penis sac. These are vas deferens, these are vas efferens, and these are testes. So this is the diagram which is very much simple to draw and to understand. So you follow this diagram for both the reproductive systems. So this was the male reproductive system we will studied in the previous lecture, and today we will see the female reproductive system. See here, this is the middle structure which is female reproductive system of granulosa or cattle leech. So see here the pair of testes, the first pair of testes in the 12th segment. This is the first pair of testes in the 12th segment, and above this first pair the position of female reproductive system you are seeing here in the diagram. So let's see one by one what is the ovisac, oviducts, common oviduct, albumin gland, what is the function of albumin gland, vagina, female genital pore, blah blah blah. Now the first structure, that is the ovisacs. What are these ovisacs? There is a pair of rounded, hollow vesicles like ovisacs. See here, pair of rounded. This both side structure, this one and this one. This is the pair of ovisacs. The ovisacs are found ventrally. These are situated on the ventral side of the cattle leech, on either side of the ventral nerve cord. See, this is the ventral nerve cord running from posterior to anterior to posterior direction, and on the ventral side, these pair of ovisacs are present in the 11th segment. Okay, see, in the first slide I have told you that the pair of testes present in the 12th segment. Above this 12th pair in the 11th segment, the female reproductive system is present, and that's why in the 11th segment the pair of ovisacs is present. So you should remember the position in which segment the ovisacs and other organs of reproduction are present. These questions are asked in the objective type of questions, or in answer in one sentence, or in fill in the blanks. So follow the instructions that I tell you in each my lecture. The cavity in each ovisac is filled with a coelomic fluid. The cavity in each ovisac is filled with a cavity which is called as the coelomic fluid. The coelomic fluid contains a coiled thread-like ovarian strand or ovary. In this ovisacs, the coelomic fluid is present, and in that coelomic fluid contains a coiled thread-like ovarian strands. Thread-like structures or ovarian strands are present in this ovisacs along with the coelomic fluid. The coelomic fluid contains, the ovary has two club-shaped ends and it buds off the ova. The ovary has two club-shaped ends. The ovary has two club-shaped ends, which ends club-shaped ends, and it buds off the ova. ये ऑर्गन ऐसा है ओविसेक्स जिसमें ओवम मैच्योर ओवम का जनरेशन होता है, डेवलप होते हैं. सो दीज ऑर्गन्स आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर डेवलपमेंट ऑफ मैच्योर ओवम एंड which were stored after ovulation. They are stored in this albumin gland. So let's see the second organ of reproduction, which is the oviduct. Oviducts. From the posterior inner sides of each ovisac, a short, narrow oviduct arises. See here, this is the ovisac, pair of ovisac, and the short, narrow tubular structure which comes out from the ovisac and joins towards the central gland or albumin gland. That is called as the oviduct. So, common oviduct. These are ovisacs. These are common oviduct. Okay. So both the oviduct runs posterior towards each other and finally unites together and forms the common oviduct. This is the common oviduct. These both oviducts unite to form a common tubular structure and which is called as the common oviduct. The common oviduct, it is a capital S-shaped tube formed by the union of two oviducts. It is a capital S-shaped tube. See here, this is the capital S-shaped structure, and hence union of two oviducts and it is formed due to the union of two oviducts. It runs posterior in 11th segment and opens into a vagina. It runs posteriorly in the 11th segment and opens into a structure called as vagina. Now let's see the fourth structure, that is albumin gland. At the junction of two oviducts, see here, at the junction of two oviducts, there is a group of unicellular albumin glands. It is a bunch of glands which are unicellular in nature, and those glands are called as albumin glands. The secretion of albumin glands passes into the common oviduct. This is the albumin gland, and it secretes the secretion which helps in the process of copulation and nourishment of ovum. Then the next structure is vagina. It is a large pear-shaped sac which extends posterior up to the 12th segment. See here, the common oviduct opens into a large bulgy globular structure which is called as vagina, and it is present in the 11th segment and runs posteriorly up to the 12th segment. But interiorly it forms a narrow tubular part. So it is called as vagina. Now the female genital pore. The narrow tubular part of vagina finally opens outside through a minute female genital pore placed on the ventral surface of 11th segment between second and third annulus. See here, this is the opening. Of female gonopore or female genital pore. The narrow tubular structure part of vagina finally opens outside through a minute female genital pore and it is placed in the ventral surface in the 11th segment between the second and third annulus. So I think I highlight the names here which are related to female reproductive system. See here, I highlighted female gonopore, this is ovisac, this is common oviduct, okay, this is vagina, then this is albumin gland, this is ovisac dissected. So now you will get the structure of all the organs of female reproductive system. So I think now you will get all these structures easily here. See, I have highlighted these structures here. So this is the female gonopore, which is present on ventral side on the 11th segment. This is ovisac. A pair of ovisac is present on in the 11th segment here. Then common oviduct. Two oviducts unite commonly and forms a tubular structure which is called as common oviduct, which opens into a globular structure which is present in the 11th segment but extends posteriorly up to the 12th segment of cattle leech, which is called as vagina. And the ovisacs, which opens into a glandular structure which is called as albumin gland, which secretes a secretion here which is poured into the common oviduct and poured into the vagina along with the mature ovum. Then these are the ovisacs which are dissected open to understand the structure of ovisac. Now let's see the next one. Now cocoon formation. Here cocoon, I have told you that cocoon is a structure or hard chitinous covering in which number of eggs are stored till the hatching of eggs or till the hatching of the larva. So how the cocoon formation takes in leech? Let's see. In the meantime, the glands of the clitellar segments secrete a snow white foamy girdle around the clitellum. See here, the clitellum is present in earthworm also, in leech also, which is the structure that can be identified externally by seeing the animal or species or worm. So the leech then tries to free itself out of the girdle by wriggling. During this activity, fertilized ova are squeezed out into the jelly of the girdle. See, it is the jelly-like structure which is secreted, which is snow white and foamy, which is called as snow white foamy girdle around the clitellum. At the position of clitellum in cattle leech, a secretion, snow white foamy girdle-like secretion is secreted. So the cattle leech tries to free itself out of the girdle by wriggling. So around the clitellum, the foamy snow white foam is secreted, and the cattle leech frees itself from the snow white girdle and by wriggling. That means the posterior end get contracted and slowly from the ring of that snow white foamy girdle, the cattle leech frees itself from the girdle. During this activity, fertilized ova, and during freeing itself, the fertilized ova are squeezed out, and while the body gets shrink to free out from the girdle, the fertilized ovum squeezed and out into the jelly of the girdle, and these fertilized eggs are squeezed and attached to the girdle or snow white foamy girdle. The leech finally frees itself out of the girdle, and the two ends of the girdle are quickly plugged by the secretion of prostomial glands. See, very interesting function it is. So the free fertilized eggs are get attached into the jelly like snow white foamy girdle, and the opening of the girdle squeezes or freezes out or stick out, and the fertilized eggs are stored in that structure or girdle, and that structure is the cocoon in which the fertilized eggs are stored, and thus the cocoon is formed. Cocoon formation takes about 6 hours to become completed. So the complete process required for cocoon formation is 6 hours. Now, structure of cocoon. How the cocoon looks here. The shape of cocoon is like that of barrel, and it measures 30 millimeter in length and 15 millimeter in breadth. It is yellowish in color and has a chitinous wall. The wall consists of an outer spongy layer and a tough inner layer. The narrow ends of the cocoon are provided with polar plugs with conical projections. The spongy layer encloses a large number of air bubbles which keeps the cocoon afloat on water. As it is spongy and the air bubbles helps in floating the cocoon on the water surface. The cocoon is filled with albumin in which float the fertilized ova. Albumin is present in which the fertilized ovum are present, which is filled with albumin. The cocoon may house 1 to 2 dozens of such ova. A single cocoon consists of 1 to 2 dozens. 12 to 24 fertilized ova are present in a single cocoon. Now, how the development and emergence of young leeches took place from these cocoons. Development is direct and occurs within the cocoon, and the process is complete in about 15 days. See, after the girdle formation or after the cocoon formation, 15 days are required for hatching the or emergence of the young leeches from the cocoon or matured or fertilized eggs. So 15 days process is it. So the albumin of the cocoon is used as food during development. So within the 15 days before emergence of young leeches, the albumin which is secreted by the albumin gland nourishes the eggs, fertilized eggs, and the complete development is seen here with the help of this albumin present. When development becomes completed, the polar plugs drop off and young leeches comes out. The polar plugs of the cocoon drop off and the young leeches comes out, or emergence of the young leeches took place when after the 14 to 15 days of development, and the cocoon and from the cocoon the emergence of young leeches takes place. So friends, this is the overall about the female reproductive system, how cocoon formation takes place, how emergence of young leeches takes place. And in this way we have completed here the female reproductive system of cattle leech, and in the next lecture we will see the life cycle of cattle leech, in which I will show you the structure of cocoon, and if possible I will also show you a YouTube small video recording about the emergence of cattle leech from the cocoon. So thank you friends, thank you once again.